Okay, finally, first off, welcome everybody to N4V's webinar titled WEBI as a Dashboard, the Best of Both Worlds. My name is Michael Trickey. I am the Senior Enterprise Account Executive with N4Viz. And joining me today is our co-founder and CEO, Jerome Millard. And we're very honored today to have a guest speaker today. That's Alan Pims of APOS. And just a quick rundown of the order of events before we get started. I am going to start off the presentation with a quick introduction for N4V for WEBI. This is the tool that makes the integration solution that makes all this possible, followed by a full presentation of WEBI as a dashboard. And then to provide a little bit more context and information, Jerome Millard is going to be giving a live demo inside of the WEBI environment and how we're going to make this happen. And then Alan Pim is going to give a rundown afterwards of his amazing migration solutions. And with that, we're going to get the webinar started with a presentation started with a quick poll question. For those utilizing the Teams Thick client, you should see a pop-up box appear when this poll is asked. And then those using the WEBI browser, you should see a poll question come up in the chat function. So if you just answer the first question, where are you from? Are you from New York, Miami, LA, London, Paris, Munich, Rome, Sydney? Let us know. We'd love to see where our audience is from, and I think this is a great exercise for people to see the worldwide community of where WEBI comes from. Oh, wow. See some people here from Switzerland, Vienna, let's see, Stockholm, Lucerne, Italy, Poland, Toronto, wow. Cambodia, wow, we are all over the world here, Mexico, Cape Town, South Africa, Jacksonville, Florida, Montreal, Canada, India, Paris, DC, Israel. We are just covering the globe here on this presentation, and we're very excited about that. And with no further ado, what I'm going to do is I am going to start the introduction of N4V, who we are. Now, we are experts in data analysis, visualization, and dissemination of information, all within the business object environment. As an SAP Analytics Solutions partner, we have created something that is fast and for you. Now, it's a solution that is really quick to deploy, install, and assist you with your WEBI reporting. Now, we've listened to our customers, and we've created a solution that solves issues that they're having with WEBI. And we're no code, and that's an important point, as you won't need code to use, configure, personalize, or modify or improve your reporting elements. We're plug and play right into your business object environment, no special server or anything required, and once installed, we can bring over 50 different reporting components, and that list is growing. In addition to that, we also provide you data visualization components that bring your business object data visibility capabilities up to and exceeding market levels. We also provide you a robust mapping element for both online and customized mapping. You can bring in maps as well. And all the data analysis you create within business object environment, you can make available outside the business object environment while retaining full interactivity through N4V's WEBI HTML capabilities. Now, by the end of this webinar, you're going to see that we are in fact allowing business object, it will become simple, more productive, and powerful. And here is a classic example of what an N4V WEBI dashboard looks like. Great data visualization, allows for multiple elements, provides a ton of data. Now this will bring us up to our next poll question. Today, do you think that this type of dashboard can be utilized by WEBI alone? We'll give you about 30 seconds to be able to achieve that, to answer that question. And of course, we're going to see the results in just a few moments. And there you have it. 54% don't think that it can be done in Webby, while 45 think that it can. But we're going to show you how we can do it within Webby. And of course, what we're going to do is we're going to show you the full screen again. And we really appreciate you participating in the survey. And of course, this is the point of the webinar, to see what's possible for N4V for WebI. So the full screen dashboard gives you a better view. And right now, and the purpose of this webinar is just to show you, hey, how can we put this together? So we have WebI, we have N4V for WebI. So how can we achieve this dashboard? Well, we're going to review that answer throughout this webinar. So of course, if anybody has any questions throughout this webinar or thoughts, feel free to utilize the chat function that allows you to ask the question, and we'll go over them towards the end of this webinar. Now, graph is currently not available within WebI. Now, as you can see here, this is a WebI native graph trend by hiring by month. It's not noted here, but you can probably guess there's a ton of information, but it's just too much data to be able to see with the human eye. So you really either have to enlarge this chart really large or find another type of visualization, which could take a lot of time to do. But have no fear, we've developed a timeline that kind of help you overcome that obstacle. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go into design mode and change that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the element down below on the right, and then we are going to right click on it and turn into a WebI native, going from a WebI native graph to a much more data rich N4V element known as the timeline. Then of course, what we're going to do here is we're going to make something a little bit more modern with this, and we're going to use all the options that are available to us, and that will allow us to personalize this chart. So here, what we're going to do is to select the rendering that we want for each type of indicator. We're going to switch over here. We're going to type in trend hiring by month. Very easy to do. Of course, through this easy to use no code plug and play solution. Just absolutely no heavy lifting with us. As you saw, it was just a couple of clicks for you to be able to switch out the WebI native to the N4V element. And we're going to use the option panel as they exist in WebI. And as you can see here, we're going to use precision without decimals, and we're going to select that here, and that allows us to personalize the graph. Now, this process was pretty fast, pretty easy. It took us maybe about 90 seconds to do. It's just one of the many great things about N4V for WebI that can help you in achieving WebI as a dashboard. So another component that's not available in WebI as it stands is the age pyramid. Now, the age pyramid was something that was long since requested by SAP Business Object users, but never materialized until N4V created a solution, because we listened to our customers and we saw that there was a huge demand for it. So let's take a look how we can set that up. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the WebI block. We're going to right click into that, and we're going to go to the elements, and we're going to select the age pyramid. And as it's downloading real quickly, we're going to go to our option panel, and we're going to go to extended parameters. We're going to change the title over here to number of employees by age. And while I'm doing that, as you can see down on the lower left, there is our new graph. It doesn't really align with the color schematic of the WebI dashboard, and we're going to change that in just a little bit. You can see that the age range is from 0 to 100. Female are on the left with the pink, and male are on the right with the blue. And not only that, as you can see right here, the map, the graph portion of it's really not concise to fit in, and we're going to change that and show you how to do that. So we're going to come to the portion as soon as we done doing a couple more moderations, and then we are going to quickly change the colors here. We're going to select male for the blue and female for the pink, and then we're going to quickly change out the color scheme for both of them so they align with the dashboard. As you can see here, we're going to change over to more of a light blue, and then we are going to click OK. And then from there, we're going to select female, and we're going to change that to kind of a gender neutral gray. And we're going to, then after that is done, we are going to resize it, and voila, again, roughly about a minute and a half to do. Not a lot of heavy lifting at this, something that's very easy to do. So what do we do here? Well, we right clicked on the Webby data table, we selected the age pyramid, we did the rendering that made it available at the end with being able to change out the colors and resize it, and voila, that is it. Now, we're going to move over to our navigational bar. Now, you can navigate in different information in Webby using different tabs, but of course, what we want to do here is set up navigation with the same report, so you don't have to be frustrated and start changing out different tabs back and forth to see the data. And we're going to show you how we can do that. So what we're going to do here is we are going to select an N4V element known as the menu button. And then from there, we are going to select the elements in our data provider, which once we select that button, there it is. And then we're going to select the elements in our data provider, which will populate an item. Therefore, the category and the URL image, which will allow us to display the image that interests us. And then we're going to configure our option, or go to options to configure our element by saying, hey, we want a vertical display. By saying that, we also want to be able to utilize all available spaces. And that is, of course, the component will calculate everything between the different images to maximize the spacing. And of course, what we can do here is we can specify the size of the image, etc. We have lots of options because we have elements that are very customizable. So what we want to do now is we want to be able to come to a specific type of control that we are going to apply that we have created called a variable called menu01. And this variable, of course, takes the value of the button by clicking it. It will update the variable and allow us to use the masking game to displace a certain element or not. So what happened here? What did we do? What we did is we inserted a new element. We chose the menu button. And of course, you must make the icon available. We created a mobile variable called menu01. And that's it. We're able to insert an element into our dashboard, and voila, that was it. And I do apologize. When just, as you know, running Webby can take up a lot of resources, so it might lag here and there, but we'll catch up real quickly. So what we're going to do now is show off another poll question. Would you like to be able to create a pop-up window using the filters in your data? Now, we find this type of pop-up window really magical because it allows us to be able to filter the display and see them on demand and hide them when they're done. It's just a simple click and you can see them or not. And this is a very useful element within Webby because it makes us really the Swiss Army knife of BI. It gives us the best of both worlds, as this webinar subtitle suggests. And Webby's a great tool, but N4V makes it even better. And when combined, you get the best BI data visualization tool which allows you to do a lot of things. And I can see that 53% of you say that no, it can't be done. And what we're going to do is show you real quickly how we can help you achieve that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with by choosing a Webby cell, and then we're going to size it and we're going to frame it. Then the next step will be to select the N4V navigation element, and therefore the element which will allow the report to be filtered interactively directly within Webby. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move them into the window and play with the layers so that the element we choose appears. As you can see here, we have created a window with our filters. And the last thing we need to do is the ability to close these windows. So we are looking to add a button. A button, of course, which will make it possible to create a cross. Now, the biggest thing is, we have to ask ourselves, now what will this button do? Now, this button will act on a variable, and it will say when I click the button, I will reset my input controls. Then earlier, we were talking about the masking game, so that's exactly what we're going to show you here. We are going to use the variable, which is called menu01, and we are going to tell it when it's different of settings. Settings, of course, will be the button on which we'll click. It will reset the variable, so it will hide the element. And we're going to do this for our filters, and we'll do it for our windows as well. And we're going to do this a couple of times to complete the masking operation. And then click Apply. So there you have it. We've created our first pop-up window. We're not going to show you how it works yet. We want to kind of keep you in a little suspense, but I promise you towards the end, we're going to show you how this works. So what did we do here? So what we did here is we created a cell. We created the N4V navigation element. We played with the masking game, Webby, and there you have it. Still really the best of both worlds. We really use Webby's features to its fullest extent. So next, what we're going to show you is how to add a new button into the navigation bar. And what's interesting is to see how easily you can add a new element into this navigational bar. So the idea will be here, we're going to add a new button, which will allow us to integrate geographical dimensions into our dashboard. So as you can see here, what we're going to do is we have three elements on the left. So we have a data provider. So technically what I'm explaining to you is that it's a text data provider in which we are going to put a name for the menu, and then we're going to reference the URL to display the icon as it's running. Real quickly, then we're going to select that URL for reference. Then we're going to click Run. And what will happen once we do that is that we're going to go from three elements to a fourth. As you see, we didn't do much. We just added the element, and it was added automatically. So how did we do this? Well, what we did is we integrated the information in our data provider. We updated the icon, the report, and then there you have it. In a few clicks, we were able to add content to really enrich our dashboard while remaining in the same dashboard. This is really the element that's important to consider as it allows us to stay within the same dashboard. Now, the next step along the way here is we're going to show you the integrated Google Maps, simplified geolocation. Basically, what I'm going to show you is how to add geographical content. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to a tab called Dashboard Maps. And once that appears, we are going to right-click on it, and we're going to select an N4V element known as the Google Maps geocoding. What we'll do, it will take all the data that was supplied to us in that table, that is the cities and states, and through the Google geocoding API, it will plot them correctly based upon the lat and longitude coordinates on the map, as you can see here, in the corresponding states, with these Google in red markers, which is not necessarily pretty. So what I want to show you is how to use the N4V component so that we can hide them and make this a little bit more ergonomically displayed map. So we're just going to go through a couple of changes here and with the colors so we can make sure that we can make this a little bit more eye appealing. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to copy the map that we had done in the Dashboard Maps tab, and we're going to paste it into our dashboard by selecting the map icon. And there it is. We're able to make it appear by clicking this icon. It's just another form of the masking game. We'll be able to display it just when we click on the map button, just as we did with the pop-up window. So how do we do this? So what we did is we have geolocation information. We selected the Google Maps geocoding component. We customized it as we want. And then in a few clicks, we were able to integrate the new element, and voila, we're done. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is kind of a favorite element of mine. It is the integrating a scrollable filter table in which we're going to be really able to integrate the elements of the company's employees, so we can get more detailed elements. So how are we going to do that? Well, quickly, what we're going to do, same thing we did with Google Maps. We are going to place ourselves on the dashboard employee directory tab. And we're going to select that. And then once we get the data to appear, the WebI data table, we are going to right click on that. And just a moment, we're going to show you how we do that. Here it is. And now we're going to right click into that and we are going to turn it into another N4V component. It's a multiple graph component. And this component that you're going to see here is known as the data analyzer. Data analyzer is a very resourceful component because it has the ability to really be really resourceful. And those who have attended our webinars in the past know just exactly how resourceful it can be. It has the ability to put itself in flat mode, also the ability, also known as Excel spread mode. So what we're doing here, what we've been doing is we can hide the number columns, the row numbers, etc. We can personalize the table as well, remove the decimals. And of course, what we have here are just ages, which are essentially numbers without decimals. And we'll come to the option where we want to hide the toolbar, which we did. And we have our flat table. And then, so what did we do here? So again, it's just simplicity. We right-clicked, we selected the component that makes the filter table, and then there you have it. And what's interesting to say is, which we noted before, is that we will be able to divert the use of the element to make something else out of it. Even if it's not a big diversion, it's something that's still something very, very configurable. Now, the next and last step of this presentation is the modal window, and it provides more analysis and interactivity. So what are we doing here? We say to ourselves, good, we have all this data provided to us by WebI, but we'd like the ability to click over a span of time, whether a month or a year in our timeline, so we can have some additional information to really enrich the information within the graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to utilize a shared element. And why do we do this? Well, we do this because it creates templates. These templates will define the graphic charter of our company. You can then define a certain number of templates, and based upon these elements, and well, you'll save time and productivity because you don't have to repeat all these customizations of these components. So everything that you want to have is already ready. So in a few clicks, I'm going to be able to add, modify the dimensions, and I wanted and be able to add an indicator as well. So as you can see here, just adding the color format to it. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the way I want my cross to appear when I click it, and the different colors that I want to apply to my element, and another little bit of customization, but much less if I had started with an N4V component compared to what my company charter or what I want to happen in my dashboard, and that's it. So here we're going to go to the last step, that's the lines. We're going to click on a different color for that, and then click apply. And you will see that the component has now a different look. So here I'm going to copy the component. I'm going to paste it in my window. And there I'm going to create a link of element between my timeline and my modal. I'm going to do that right over here in just a second. So here, as you can see, we're going to link that up real quickly. And we're creating the element link. And now I'm going to specify the element on which I want to interact, which I just did. I'm going to give it a name, hire date, and that's it. Click OK. So now when I click on the element in my timeline, it'll interact with the window that I just created. So that this window is not permanently displayed, I'm going to use the masking game using menu 01. I will say to that, when the number of this month is greater than 1, I do not display it because I only want to select a point in my timeline. I want to select only 1 month, so I will only have 1 month displayed. So what we're going to do, this is a couple of times for the window and the filters we showed earlier before. And then after we're done doing the masking operations, we're going to show you how it works. So as you can see here, we clicked on that point. And as you can see, the hire date, everything is associated with August of 2010. So What happened here? Well, it's important to keep in mind that you can use shared elements also with N4V element. It saves time and productivity. We choose the modal mode, which is the mode which allows us to have the masking effect, and we played the masking game, and that's all there is. I really appreciate your participation in my presentation. And now what I'd like to do is be able to hand the reins over to Jerome Millard, who is going to give a live demonstration of how we're able to do this to provide a little bit more context and information. So please take it away, Jerome.
Thanks a lot, Mike, for this presentation and the great job done with this dashboard. Now, as you said, what we want to see is how does it work. So we showed you many elements, and we are going to connect again to this dashboard and see what we can do, and for example, how the pop-up is working. So, a well-known platform. So I'm going to open my dashboard, and I'm going to show you a few things that were not explained by Mike. But for example, we can start with clicking with the full screen button so that you have access to only to the dashboard, and you can use the totality of the screen to play with it. We have our drillable chart, so you can click and see and drill into them. And there are different kind of options. Here you can see that I have the same representation. If I click on this one, I will have some areas. So we can really customize our chart and have the component that we want. On the H pyramid and on all components, you have some tooltips, and you are able to have additional information without having to use another component. Here we can display the pop-up window, so the famous pop-up window that is not possible to do with the standard web element, so it's only possible with our N4V components. Here I can, for example, click on remote, and I'm going to filter on that, and I can select year 2012, so for example, and I will have only the data related to those filters. Okay, and you can continue to play with the dashboard, of course. Now I can come back to all information. I'm going to close my window. What we can also use is the modal window that was shown by Mike. So I can browse my timeline. I can zoom on some period. And for example, I can click on that point here, and I'm going to display the pop-up related to the point on which I click. And it's going to give me the capability to have additional data to my N4V component. And of course, there are some options that are included in them. So you can sort, you can apply some filter if you want. You can have some alerters, etc., to classify and see who is active, who is inactive on the people that were higher at that time. I'm going to close it, and what I can do now is to go to the employee directory. So I have more than 20,000 employees in that table, and what I want to do is to focus, for example, on people that were born on 1991. So I'm going to select year 1991. Okay, I'm going to apply. So now I have only people that are that were born on that date. I'm going to see their age at that time. So I have that are 32 and 33. And I can also see who are the active one or not. So I can click here, and I will see who is active or inactive, and I can select, of course, filter and see only the inactive, and I can browse the list and see who they are. Okay. Now I can go to the maps component that was developed by Mike using the geocoding capabilities of N4V associated with the GoogleMap API. And here I am really, the browser of the user is really connected to Google Maps. So it's what I'm doing here. And I can zoom on the part of the map I want to see. So here I'm going to have the tooltip and see how many employees I have in Cleveland. And to show you that I'm really connected to Google Map, then I can use the OpenStreetView and browse through into the city, and that's it. Okay, what I would like to show you is that we have the capability to export our N4V component to HTML. What does it mean? It means that you are able to decimate information from WebI outside of WebI and give access to a maximum of users. So what we've done is that we've the HTML export. So I'm not anymore in WebI, and when I click on the link, I can see that I have exactly the same representation that what I had into WebI. And you can see here that there's a kind of mistake because we have the female in blue and the male in gray, and it's the opposite in the H pyramid, for example. So to keep the same color coding, I'm going to switch to design, and I'm going to change the color for this component. And to do that, I'm going to change the custom order, and I'm going to put male in first, female in second, and with that, it will make that the color will be okay now. Okay, so I have male in blue and female in gray. So when I'm going to refresh my report here, it has automatically exported the chart to HTML, and now you can see that I have male in blue and female. So what does it mean? It means that you will be able to export as HTML automatically, and you don't need to do it manually. Once it is configured for every component, and you can schedule it with the WebI capabilities, of course. Okay, so that was my my contribution to this webinar. We are going to switch back to the presentation. And Mike.
Of course, wonderful demonstration there, Jerome. Appreciate the context and deep insight into that. And of course, this is only possible with N4V for WebI. This is a complete no-code add-on solution that will really elevate your dashboard making to the next level. We supercharge your data. And of course, this offers a really quick return on your investment. You can start utilizing this right away. There's no heavy lifting as far as getting this installed. We're about an eighth of the time to get a person up and running with adding this. So very quick, you can start seeing the results right away. And of course, you can save time, as you saw throughout this demonstration, and save costs. And we're compliant within digital sustainability. We can be utilized. We can be utilized within Windows and Linux. And of course, we can use your data, whether it's on-premise or in the cloud. And the training's fast. It takes the average user maybe a half day to learn how to use us to get them up to speed. But the odds are, if you know WebI, you know N4V for WebI. So very quick to get you up and running. And of course, as you can see, with the use of N4V for webbing, we are allowing business object webbing become simple, more productive, and powerful. And of course, add more power to your business objects. And at this point, I appreciate everybody's attendance for this presentation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears, and I'm going to introduce, a lot of people know this man. His name is Alan Pinn. He's the CEO of APOS, and he's going to go through a rundown of his migration services into the SAP universes. Alan, please take it away.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jerome. Certainly pleased to be able to be here today and present alongside all the great capabilities that you've been showing. Michael, it appears I'm not able to advance slides, so I'll just give you a little finger tap here to advance that. So for those of you who aren't aware of APOS, we're a longstanding SAP partner like N4V. For the last 25 years or so, we've been building enhancement solutions for the SAP Business Objects environment and for Analytics Cloud. And so I'll touch base on our Analytics Cloud solutions a little bit later, but we work with a lot of great customers globally to help them in expanding their SAP Business Objects environment. If you can just carry on to the next slide there. So I do want to put some focus on our business objects solutions, and specifically, we'll put our attention to the WebI Migrator solution. And if you click forward there, the range of solutions that you'll see are ones where, again, this is all about the BI operations team helping to simplify management, administration, migration of the business objects platform and the capabilities of the platform. But again, a lot that we could cover there, but really what we want to focus on is the WebI Migrator. We'll go to the next slide. So the WebI Migrator is all about universes and the business objects universe, and specifically the UNX. So it's hard to believe that it's been 13 years since the UNX was adopted. We'll click on there, and here we are today, 13 years later, 2024, and we're getting down to the late stages of deadlines for getting moved to the UNX from the UNV. For lots of you, you will have already adopted the UNX, but there's also many organizations who still have to make that upgrade as well. We'll click on there. And so whether you're an organization that is looking at 2025 as your deadline, or whether you're an organization that's thinking about extending on to 2027, the UNX is a challenge that you and an update that you need to make. So as far as organizations and what they're thinking about this upgrade, as they think about the manual processes involved in upgrading the universes, but even more time intensively, all of the repointing of the reports, the WebI reports to the UNX, the validation of success of that, and then publishing, many organizations have taken the position of saying, you know what, we don't have the budget, the time, it's going to be hard to coordinate all of our teams together, and we don't really want to take on that extra system risk now. And for lots of organizations, if you click through there, the response has been in the past, well, we're just going to wait another year. And the reality is the number of years are starting to become fewer, and lots of organizations looking to deal with this here now. So if we click on, there is good news. This does not have to be a big, intimidating project. This is one that if you automate, you will be able to tackle this project in a very effective means. And that's what our Web Intelligence Migrator solution is about. If you click through there, we want to put you in a position that you can tackle this project and get through the challenges without all of the costs and time implementation that carries on. So as we carry on here and look at our WebI Migrator solution, if you click through there, you'll see that the main focus of our solution is in automation to handle the universe upgrade, the report repointing, and the content validation steps, and doing that all through automation so that you can accomplish those tasks. Now, strong project controls, this becomes very important for organizations who have larger amounts of WebI reports and as well high scalability. So if we click through here, we can see one customer profile that we have worked with. This is an extremely well-known global brand. They have a massive business objects environment where they have had 250,000 WebI reports. Their move to UNX was prompted because of their data warehouse move to Snowflake. With that number of reports, though, they realized that a manual process was not possible. Clicking through, you'll see the fact that what they've done is they have used the WebI Migrator solution to bring that automation to handling that process. So the high volume, high speed, the project controls and high availability and scalability has been very important to them, but many organizations won't have that size of deployment. This is an extreme example, but the same concepts and principles still apply. If we click on, this is really something that I want to draw everyone's attention to. We'll be talking about that use case and others, and looking at the WebI Migrator solution at a webinar that we'll be putting on next Thursday. And so we would invite everyone to join us. That's 11 a.m. Eastern time. And if you go to our website at apos.com, you'll be able to register for that event. So please join us for that. Clicking through to the last slide, we'll see just a quick mention of the solutions that I mentioned for Analytics Cloud. Lots of you on the line might be in a situation where you are running in hybrid mode with both Business Objects and Analytics Cloud. And if you are running Analytics Cloud, you need to know about these two solutions. Specifically, the Publisher for Cloud is bringing broadcasting, bursting, publications capabilities to SAC, and lots of great capabilities there. But also with the Live Data Gateway solution, if you have non-SAP data sources that you want to connect live to, that's exactly what the Live Data Gateway solution does. So please keep those in mind. But just to draw to a close, I put my contact information there. If anything that I've mentioned is that you have questions, please let me know. Be happy to help out. But do visit our website. You'll see the wider range of things that we do, but you'll also find that invite to next Thursday's session. So I'll invite you again to join us. And with that, Michael, I appreciate the time and everyone's interest, and turn that back to you.
Oh, wonderful. And I appreciate the rundown of your meeting services. And of course, at the end, of course, we add more power to business objects, and we appreciate everybody's attention today and participation. Now is the part where we'd like to be able to start answering some of the questions that you have asked us. So we'll begin with that. First question I'm seeing, are the dashboards only put together within WebI, or do they provide some external batch approach to create the dashboards from some sort of source code files? True?
Okay, so could you repeat the question?
Sure. Here.
Are the dashboard, okay. Putting together within WebI, or do you provide some external or batch approach to create dashboards from some sort of source code file? So if I understand correctly, the dashboard are within WebI. We have the N4V extension to put the component that gives so much interactivity and this kind of capabilities. I don't know if it's answered the question, because maybe it's disconnected from the time when it was asked. Can you use CHEP instead of point for the GeoMap? As I think it's already said, we have different kind of mapping capabilities, online, offline, and we can use some shapes, yes. So it really depends what you want to do, but we really can do a lot in terms of mapping presentation. Our N4V solution is implemented, so it's really simple. You have to download our software, then you have to install it. It can be displayed on, it can be installed on the WebI server. For someone that knows, it takes 30 minutes to install, and you are ready to play. You have to configure the N4V services in the CMC. then you can log on to WebI. You don't need to reboot, and you are ready to play with more than 50 widgets. Okay. Will this webinar be released as a recording? Yes, of course. It will be released for all people that were not able to attend due to their constraint. Today we have more than 160 people registered, so many will be able to have the winner. Okay, I can see another question on mapping capabilities. The question on GeoMaps, getting coordinates is something that is not maintained. I had built JSON files for custom mapping for Lumira back in the days. How is WebI going to do this? Okay, so WebI is not doing the geocoding. It's on our side with the Google API. Then we are able to send the address and get the latitude and longitude. So, and it's saved in a N4V database. So once it is geocoded, then it's saved in the database. You don't need to make some new callback to the Google API. Except if you want, then you can do it. But once it is done for life. Could you export the backup data? So yes, we could export the data. I don't have all the whole question, I think, because it was during the presentation. But yes, it's possible to export the data. How do we find some trial N4V chart? So you can contact us, and we'll be glad to explain you how you can try our solution. Do you have a sparkline chart and bullet chart will be N4V element? Good question. Yes, as we said, we have more than 50 charts, and we only present a few of them. So if you browse our website, needforthis.com, or you can also connect to our Need4This demo platform. Then you have all the catalog and all the component that we have in our releases. And as it said, it's written in the chat. Is it possible to download only one of the many visualizations in a tab using N4V? Download or export? Yes. Yes, you can do that. So maybe that you are talking about the HTML export, but with the HTML export, you are able to download the widget one by one. So you can do that without any problems. Are there other questions? We are 5 minutes away, but if you have any question, feel free to ask. So thanks a lot for participating this webinar. We were more than happy to share with you those information. We stay at your disposal for any other question. You can contact us through using the email that is going to be displayed. But before that, we have a last question, because now we know that you are expert to reply the poll that we have. So we would like you to rate this webinar just to have an overview of what you thought about that. So let us know. It will help us to enhance what we can do, and we will send you a survey. So with a few questions, it will take 1 minute to fill, and it will help us also to make things even better. Okay, so we're going to wait people that were not able to answer yet, and in few seconds we will we'll go through the contact information for that you can put in your notes if you have any question or if you want to contact us, of course. Okay, so you can see the contact information, the website, and thanks a lot for attending this webinar.